Meditation is a practice that involves a lot of right effort. In the matrix of 37 so-called wings of awakening, Bodhipakkhya Dhamma, right effort appears the most times out of all the qualities needed for the successful development of mind. Right effort, or Samma Vayama, is the sixth factor of the Eightfold Noble Path. Before embarking on a path of meditation, I believe it is important to grasp the concept of right effort correctly. Let me start with a story from Buddhist scriptures. During the Buddha's time, there was a young gentleman known as Sona Kolevisa. He is reported to have been so pampered that hair even grew on his feet. Later, Sona Kolevisa heard the Buddha's teachings, and understanding the need for mental development, he entered the monastic community of the Buddha. As a monk, he wanted to reach the highest levels of attainment, and the sooner, the better. He learned how to practice walking meditation and eagerly meditated to the limits of his physical ability. He walked so much that the tender skin on the soles of his feet ruptured and blood streamed out. In spite of that, Venerable Sona Kolevisa continued to walk and meditate. However, his meditation didn't develop further, so he began to doubt that he could ever attain the higher wisdom. The Buddha approached Venerable Sona Kolevisa and asked him to reflect on the time when the latter used to play the harp. He knew that if the strings of the harp were either too taut or too loose, the sound of the harp wasn't right. The Buddha is then reported to have said, "How do you perceive this, Sona? When the strings of your harp were neither too taut nor too loose, kept in the appropriate level, wasn't your harp both well-tuned as well as easy to play?" "Yes, sir." Even so, Sona, is too much of an output of energy conducive to restlessness, while too feeble an output of energy brings sloth and torpor. Therefore, you too, Sona, should find the right balance of energy, realize the evenness of the faculties, and be mindful of it. Both excessive effort and lack of effort are two common reasons why meditators do not progress in their practice. With too much effort, the mind becomes stressed, anxious, and quickly tired. With a lack of sufficient effort, the mind is easily lost in thought and daydreaming, instead of observing reality as it is. A balance of effort is achieved through mindfulness. Mindfulness is the unattached observation of the phenomena that occur at the present moment. Observing physical and mental phenomena, including their patterns, can help us make wholesome decisions for ourselves and for the good of others. The two extremes of effort can be further described in terms of attachment. The first of the two extremes is carelessness, when the meditator lets the mind do whatever it wants. In that case, the meditator is thinking, planning, running through memories, composing poems, or writing books while sitting in meditation posture, instead of being in the present moment. How different, really, is that meditator from a slave? Slaves have no choice, no control over anything. They just follow whatever the master says. A meditator who has lost commitment to their meditation practice quickly becomes prey to their defilements and loses time by sleeping or inner chatter. This is not the aim of meditation. When the Buddha described his path to enlightenment, he explained how he first achieved great power and control over his mind, and how he then used that power to direct his mindfulness toward the reality of his mind and the body, thereby attaining enlightenment. The second extreme is when meditators master one meditation technique, but because of their attachment to that method, they cannot apply the acquired ability to concentrate or observe the reality in any other way. Even though such meditators can enjoy the benefits of their practice, they cannot make use of those benefits to develop the mind further. Such meditators are subservient to the meditation technique, obediently following it any time they sit in meditation. For example, if a meditator who is attached and stuck at the object of breathing wants to meditate on loving-kindness or be mindful of their mind, it will not be possible. their mind will always return to the breath. They will then despise other meditation techniques as a response to their inability to practice them. Another meditator might be excellent in discerning their mental states, but when they concentrate on their breath or loving kindness, they fail to stay with that object. Some meditators are mindful of their pleasant, unpleasant, and neutral feelings or sensations, and their experience and understanding of these phenomena is at a deep level. However, a number of them have not realized the significance of the ability to observe reality in general, and created a strong attachment to one practice only. When they are asked to observe the materiality of their body, they are neither able to meditate on their body as separate from feelings or sensations, nor do they understand the underlying differences between body and feelings. In all such cases, the meditator has misunderstood the purpose of meditation. They have benefited little and become victims of attachment to a single meditation practice. Some of those meditators will spend years and years roaming across meditation centers and even trying different methods, but they will succeed only once they have overcome this obstacle. The solution can come only from themselves. They have to abandon their attachment to their beloved technique and mindfully open themselves to different meditation practices, even at the cost of forgetting the previous one. This is the way followed in the progressive instructions for meditation as we learn them from the Buddhist scriptures. First, we develop a great, wonderful attainment, and then abandon it so we can attain a deeper, even more powerful attainment. I will talk about this in Lecture 23 when we come to the topic of attainments. At this moment, it is important to mention that whatever practice of meditation you follow, remember it is not there to cling to, no matter how great it makes you feel, but rather for your ability to control your mind and develop the mind further with any other meditation practice. In the Majjhima Nikaya's Alagadupama Sutta, we can read the simile of the raft. The Buddha explains that if somebody had to cross a river to escape from a dangerous shore and achieve living on a safe shore, he or she would make a raft and work hard to cross the river. When they get past the river, they would not take the raft on their head or load it on their shoulders. Instead, they should haul it on dry land or set it adrift in the river. In the same way, we abandon attachment to the unwholesome mental states as well as to the wholesome mental states. Wholesome states are important during the mental development, but attachment will only cause trouble on the way. When we accomplish mental purity, there remain only the wholesome states, unobstructed, genuine. In brief, there are these two extremes of directing effort in meditation. One, where effort is not directed anywhere, and the mind thereby doesn't develop its qualities. And the second, where a meditator creates a strong attachment for a single meditation technique and cannot use the new skills anywhere else.